What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm just getting set up here, guys. Be with you in a minute. I'm gonna send links in a minute, guys. Hi, George. Hi, Blind Braille. I'm just gonna get set up. Well, I am set up, but yeah, thank you for all joining me, whoever's watching. I know today's a hectic day with the leaks of Doctor Strange. I seen them. I'm not gonna tell you, but it's it's pretty much confirmed who we all expected to be in it. So it's not really a big deal. Wait, I guess I don't know. Who cares? That's not what I'm talking about here. Also, subscribe to my new channel, my wrestling channel. I'm gonna put the link. Oh crap! Can I? Here, I'm gonna put the link. Here. Very funny, yeah, George. Very funny, George. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know about this Wonder Twin news. Apparently, the Mesh movie might be canceled. I think it's bullshit. I think that's a huge grain of salt. I think it's BS. But yeah, so I'm gonna get my hat. And my mic just fell. My mic just fell. Great. I really do need a. I really don't like holding my mic, but yeah, okay. So yeah, as I said, subscribe to my wrestling channel if you want to. If you're not interested in wrestling, okay. But if you just give me subscribers, give me the 20. I'm at 17. Give me the 20. Just give me the 20. That's all I asked for. It's 20. But so like, share, subscribe. Typical thing. Notification bell on this channel where things go up, streams and videos. As you know, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So, as you know, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It's not the spoiler talk. Comes out Thursday. I am seeing it Thursday afternoon. So expect a non-spoiler review to go up live on my channel. It's not a stream. It'll be a review. And then I know Blind Braille, you're seeing it next Saturday, right? I don't know when you're seeing it, George, but I'm planning to do the review next Sunday. Next Sunday for the spoiler review for Doctor Strange. And also, I do plan to do the finale of Moon Knight. Moon Knight finale. Maybe Friday or Saturday. I don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna do the finale for Moon Knight. But yes. But yes, I'm gonna do invitations. Let's talk about Moon Knight. Oh, sold out Thursday and Friday? Okay. I'm just getting set up, guys. I have to send the link first. That's the thing. Like, no, I want to get my thoughts out of the way with this episode. I think it's the best episode yet. It's the best episode yet because it goes into Mark's life. I know you saw them, Blind Bro. I think everybody in our community saw them. I'm not gonna talk about them. I don't want to spoil them, but I think this is the best episode because it goes into Mark's life and how emotionally damaged the character is, Mark Spector, and it does affect Steven, but this is mostly about Mark. I understand how Steven plays a role in his character development. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, there's not enough Moon Knight in this," but you know what? Mark is Moon Knight. This is about Mark Spector, really. Mark Spector and Stephen Grant, and eventually Jake Lockley, hopefully. But yeah, so send in invitations. Invitations going away. I think this is the best episode. I'm gonna say this of the MCU shows. Of all of them, the 5. I'm not including What If, but WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye. This is the 5th one. I think this is one of the best episodes of all the shows. Period. I think it's one of the best. So Specca invite. George, I'm looking for you, buddy. And I'm gonna put my group. Whatever it is. Yeah, I see you guys. Hey, George.
Oh, what's up?
Hey, Art.
Hey, how you doing? Did you hear the news?
Oh, Muerto's gonna be in Doctor Strange too.
No, not that one. No, something got canceled.
Yeah, Wonder Twins.
Yeah.
No, take that with a grain of salt, guys. Take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I'm taking that with a grain of salt. I see a certain Sil is taking a victory lap.
Fuck him. Like taking a victory lap of having something being cancelled. Like, just fuck. You know what?
Like,
You know what?
I was
Disgraceful.
never interested in the movie, so like, I was like, to me, like the Wonder Twins are cool, but it was never a movie that really interested me that much. They weren't like I like characters, but some characters are just like meh for me. But Moon Knight was awesome. Like, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
The
Yeah.
only problem, like, I do agree with some people's criticism is like the only problem I have with Moon Knight is like he's not in the Moon Knight costume. It's like I want to see Moon Knight fighting. Like I don't
But
mind
the thing is,
I don't mind like backstories or anything like that, but like some like it's just a minor nitpick.
I think this is one of the best actually MCU show episodes. Period.
Yeah,
This
episode.
episode. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I think it was a great episode. I'll be honest. Like the first 3 episodes kind of felt very slow to me, but like this episode and the previous one, I feel like has actually piqued my interest again. Because
Yeah.
I'm kind of like Arkham. Like I want to see like more Moon Knight action as well.
Yeah, like it's not like I don't think it's a good episode. It's just this is about Moon Knight and stuff like that. So like like supposedly the last episode's gonna be 2 hours. I heard. Like, is that true?
No, it's not. Apparently it's gonna be like 45 to 50 minutes. It's
For a second, like if it was 2 hours, that would be the longest.
no. You don't make a TV show 2 hours.
And like
You might as well make a movie.
Like that's like my issue with these MCU shows. It's like episodes 4 and 5 tend to be like the best, and then like episode 6 tends to be like the shortest, and it kind of feels like
the finales are short.
Yeah, so it's like I'm very worried about how this finale is going to turn out.
I really think apparently this is gonna be a limited series, but I think this is one of the shows that I might need a second season.
It's gonna have to, because again, like me and Arkham said, we haven't really seen as much Moon Knight in costume. It's like, when's this character's next appearance gonna be?
Yeah, Blind Bill, welcome to the show. What do you think?
Oh, what's up? Yeah, I thought it was probably the best episode so far, and probably one of the most better, I guess, character-driven stuff in the MCU.
I agree. I agree. Like how Mark through this drama, like basically we can talk about the episode, guys. Like we know that they're in Mark and at the last episode we got the hippo, the goddess of Tawit, whatever, the hippo goddess, taking the role of Anubis because that's not her role, but technically in Egyptian mythology that's Anubis's role, right? They take you to the underworld, right? That's. But apparently something went wrong because we know Anubis is kind of working for, or Anubis might be imprisoned or working for Harold or Met. But yeah, right? Because that's not her role. That's not the hippo's goddess role. What she's doing, she's replacing Anubis.
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Yeah, that is weird that Anubis wasn't there.
Anubis,
that's a good point.
Anubis, yeah.
I think it was just a little weird to see him on top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely weird. I think Anubis would have been better. He's a little bit more creepy looking.
Yeah.
There has to be a reason why it wasn't Anubis.
Yeah.
I mean, like either it's working for Harold or like because we know Khonshu is not the only god that's been in prison.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Like who else has been in prison, right? And yeah, and so they go on the boat, right? The boat as in the underworld apparently. Apparently they're really dead, both of them.
Mhm.
So and then they have the scale and they have to balance, right, to get into, right? And the only way for it to balance is to go through Mark's past. And we see the tragic life of Mark's past. How he was a kid, he had a brother. And Steven, and this is kind of where Steven's origins too started. We see Mark's past. He goes into eh, he takes his brother to the cave, right? And that's where all of a sudden it started to rain and flood over, and that his brother drowned. That's the beginning of Mark's trauma, not drama, trauma. And his mother's distraught. The mother like blames Mark for everything for this death of his brother during the first Shiva, the brother Shiva, because they're Jewish, so I'm Jewish, so I'm Jewish. I think I said this before. When you have a family member pass away, somebody in the Jewish community religion pass away, we have a Shiva. It takes about a week, so the family sits for that, and that's what happens in the first for the brother, but the mother couldn't look at him. Blames everything. The father doesn't blame Mark. The father like forgives Mark. Like he's sad his son is dead, but he doesn't blame Mark. But the mother clearly doesn't like Mark. Like doesn't clearly doesn't he. Here's the thing. She doesn't ignore Mark, but what she does is worse. Like ignoring Mark, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, she has her own mental health issues as well.
Yeah.
And then we find out every birthday she wouldn't go with them to eat cake, so it's just the father and Mark alone. And then we find out like the room upstairs. And then that's when Mark is like, Steven, don't go in that room, don't go in the room, you don't know what's happening. It was because that's the birth of Stephen Grant. Mark's due to his trauma, Stephen Grant was born. And that's a very real thing because in real life, people do develop another personality due to trauma. And
Yeah, it's a coping mechanism.
Yeah, that was a coping mechanism. And Steven thought he was real and all that, but it turns out he was just a personality of Mark.
Yeah.
And right? And we find out why he didn't want to see he didn't want Steven to see that. One, because Steven was distraught and finding out he was made up. He didn't think he was real, even though he thinks he's real. But and the other part as well, the mother, beats Mark with the belt. Teach him some discipline, right? Because she has her issues, but she still blames I think her issues got worse with the brother's death. But yeah, what do you guys think about all that?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again? I was reading something.
What do you think about find out Steven was just made up as a coping mechanism, and the mother like?
Well, the mom being abusive was something that it's like something that caught me off guard because again, this is my introduction to Moon Knight, so I'm not really sure about like what goes on in the comics with his background history. But the fact that Marvel kind of like took that risk like to like show like not like outright show it, but like show like what really went on, and it was a surprise when you found out like this like helped create this personality.
Yeah.
But it kind of showed like Moon Knight is definitely one of their more mature, darker like source materials that they're going to put into the MCU.
Yeah, the comics are way darker than this show we'll probably ever get to.
Yeah, I mean this is pretty dark for like MCU standards because they can't go very far. Obviously, Disney won't go that far, but like this is far for their standards. And Uh, yeah,
This
and then,
was pretty close to the Jeff Lemire. Like there was even I even saw people pointing out that when he's at the birthday table, there's actually he's wearing a similar outfit to the flashback sequences in that comic. So it's and
there
even
was
the
Easter
housing
eggs.
and stuff. Yeah,
There were
like the
Easter
whole
eggs for that.
location.
Yes. Oh, and then we find out later on that Mark left. Obviously, I think he went to do he joined basically. I think Mark. I know he became a Merc, right? But I think he did join the military, right?
Yeah.
But he did come back because he knew his mother passed away. And they're having shiva for the mother. But he was there, but he wasn't in the house where and the father sees him outside and he's telling him to come in, right? And his father's like, no, not his father. And Marcus like, no, no, no. And then you see him go on the ground. You see him on the ground, and like I have my thumbnail, my picture, of my thumbnail basically explains it, like how he reacted, right, to that.
Hmm.
I mean, I think he wanted his mother's love. That's what he wanted. He wanted his mother's love. That's
Well, I think he couldn't deal with the fact that his mother didn't love him.
yeah,
Like that's why in that scene, right? He immediately goes into Stephen Grant is because he can't like actually confront that what his mom has done and what she's going through. And so that's why Stephen Grant was always there. It was just like a blocker, right? And that's why he was conflicted, right? Because Grant was basically living his life for him, if that
yes,
makes sense. Yeah.
because we saw that in the scene where they go back to where Arthur Harrow is a doctor, and we saw that my mom was like, your mom's passed away, and then Steven's like, no, my mom's alive, and he in the phone, and you see that with because Stephen Grant thought his mother was alive the whole time, like it turns out not to be true. And before that, I think we got a hint of Jake Lockley's personality in that scene between the two,
Hmm.
because. And because I think when he held up with that pyramid that looked like he was he thought he was gonna stab the doctor, but he didn't. Ethan Hawke, but he held that pyramid. I think that's a Jake Lockley personality coming out.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jake Lockley personality was because I know in this episode, like the timeline's a little bit confusing because it seems like his mom recently died, and
Yeah,
then that's when things started getting hectic. But I'm wondering if the Jake Lockley personality was like the mercenary, was more that like he was probably the one looking for Bushman, and the show. I think it was this episode they talked about Bushman for the first time. But this is a character
Bushman.
they,
He's the one that turned on everybody and killed
yeah,
Layla's father and backstab Mark, right? And
yeah.
yeah,
Because I know you guys are saying, oh, if there's going to be season two, Bushman is like a significant Moon Knight villain. So the fact that the show hasn't like shown him or gone in detail shows that he's probably going to be the next villain.
and oh yeah, I know Blind Brothers, but I don't know if you guys know this. His brother, Mark's brother, is not really dead in
Yeah,
the comics. His brother's
yeah,
actually
his
the villain.
brother. Yeah, I was saying that, oh, they were going to make Arthur Shadow Knight, but I could see them doing like a doppelganger ghost situation where Shadow Knight comes and he's basically Randall. They didn't say his name, which I thought was interesting.
No. That was my theory. My crazy theory was Arthur Harrow's really his brother. It's not. I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. But that'd
But
be
now that they showed it, I think that's definitely Randall.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Also, the boat sequence, I will say, visually was some of the best visuals in the Marvel shows so far.
oh yeah. And
Yeah,
then
it was cool.
oh yeah. That one scene when Mark and Steven walked into that room and in the not asylum but the psych ward, whatever, each room's a memory, and that one scene when you see all the dead bodies all sitting and you see like the people dead bodies they don't look like, I know they're murderers, like rapists, some the worst of the worst, but they don't look like that,
No,
like
yeah.
there's just like one dead person. That's like a woman with this regular hat and this long hair or something with a ponytail. I'm like, that's a criminal. You wouldn't think they're like a criminal.
Hmm. But
Right?
also too, in that scene, Mark was talking about how like he's conflicted about killing them, which is kind
Yeah.
of similar to the comics, right? Because Khonshu is basically like Mark is basically his puppet, right? And he's never really gonna leave him. And so I find it interesting that like this show already has Khonshu removed when Khonshu's always there, right? Khonshu's like never gonna leave him because if he does, then Mark is dead, right? Like that's how
Yeah.
I always saw it in the
And
comics, at least.
yeah, we did get to the part where Mark was dying after got betrayed by Bushman. He was dying, and he slithered into the Khonshu tomb or
Yeah.
wherever the resting place, and Khonshu started talking. Talking, and he started to take a and Khonshu basically said, "I could feel your pain and stuff like that." And that's when he took advantage of Mark,
Hmm.
and Steve was like, "He took advantage of you," like, ah, and
Yeah, he's a manipulator. It's kind of
yeah.
funny how Khonshu is very similar to kind of like his mom. It's like an abusive situation.
Yeah, I'm really interested. Like, was- I'm really interested in the finale because we did see there's this one picture where Arthur and Moon Knight will fight. Like, they will fight.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I'm interested what happens to the Stephen Grant because we know Stephen Grant. The ending is basically stoned, right? Gets petrified by landing on the sand in the underworld after saving Mark, right? So I wonder what happens there. The Jake Lockley personality comes out. I think the Jake Lockley personality is a little bit more is a little bit more protective personality, but in a violent way, you know?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah, secretive too.
yeah,
That's my impressions. Yeah,
yeah. Apparently, the Jake Lockley character is gonna be from New York. Like it's gonna be like a New Yorker kind
I
of.
heard he
Because
has like a Hispanic kind of accent,
yeah,
so that'd
that's,
be interesting. Yeah.
that's because Mark is actually from New York. He's not like he's not
Hmm.
right. I think he was raised in New York.
Yeah,
That's
he
where they live.
was.
And Stephen Grant's obviously England. And there's somebody had a crazy theory out there that the first episode that it was Jake that asked the tour guide at the lady that apparently Stephen um stood up. That was Jake that asked her. I'm like, no, that was not Jake that asked her. That was Stephen who asked her.
Yeah, I didn't. I never
Yeah,
saw that theory, but
no, it was Stephen because it was clearly Stephen.
hmm.
This is a oh man, this is a good It's one of the best episodes of the MCU shows. I'll tell you that. Like, it's definitely top tier. The
Yeah.
character development. Uh,
I feel like Phase 4 is becoming like the grief stage for a lot of these MCU characters.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
that's
not
Marvel Comics, so
Yeah, I know, but it's like I feel like Phase 4 out of like the four phases so far, you see a lot of more grief this time
mhm,
around. Like they're finally going darker.
which
oh,
I'm glad.
they go dark when they need to. Like that's the thing people don't
Yeah, no,
understand
I'm
about
not
Marvel.
saying
I'm
they always
saying.
have to go dark, but I'm saying like you're definitely seeing a lot of these characters go through more tragedy and grief in this
Hmm.
phase.
Well, it makes it makes a character more interesting. Like, how many characters in Marvel the MCU have tragic backstories? I mean,
A lot.
a lot. Yeah. Like,
I would say every single Marvel character does. It's like you know, Marvel character has to have like some sort of tragedy. It's not like DC.
no.
Yeah,
The
we're
thing
like
is,
half the
there's some
at least half the heroes are gods.
Yeah,
Thor
that's why
didn't have.
people say. Sorry to cut you off. That's why people like to say that Batman is very kind of Marvel-esque.
The thing is, Thor didn't have a tragic backstory, but he had a tragic story as his arc went on. His story got
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
tragic. Um, I would say Iron Man. Like at first, he didn't have a tragic backstory, but like then he saw what his weapons were doing, and then he had a tragic. And his arc got more tragic with his parent finding out what happened to his
Hmm.
parents. That
I think
Sylvia
Yeah.
Accords.
the
I think
MCU kind of skipped over the demon in the bottle
Yeah,
because I think
I've,
that was because of Robert Downey Jr. He didn't want to do that. Kind of
but what
unfortunate.
what I like what they did with Iron Man was it was more like a story of like redemption and like second chances, especially when Jensen's like don't waste your life, and he basically decided to like use this second chance like wisely.
Hmm.
Like I like that they went like that way, and also like I feel like a lot of people were kind of soured on Iron Man because of the comic Civil War. So like I
Oh,
feel like you had to do
Yeah, that's
something to
true.
like change the perception of Iron Man for film at least.
But the
Civil
thing
War is a
is,
good comic.
just for some like comic history, I think probably around the early 90s is when Iron Man had like a huge downfall. Especially when they try to introduce like teenage Tony Stark, and Tony Stark was actually in a villain that was working for Kang, and it was a
Oh,
bunch of nonsense that happened in the comics. And because of that, I think a lot of people just didn't like Iron Man, and it's gone downhill ever since. And then you had Civil War, obviously, as George mentioned. Like Iron Man was not like he was there, but he was not like like a relatable character at that point, if that makes sense.
I
Yeah.
mean, Civil War was actually pretty good. Civil War 2, that's another story.
Oh yeah,
I
Civil
never
War
read
2 is a
Civil War
mess.
2.
Do you
It's-
think they'll do the Tony Stark hologram in the MCU?
No, I don't know.
Um,
Civil War
I
2 made
honestly, I could see
Civil
them doing that.
Civil War 2 hurt Captain Marvel a lot.
The thing
Because
is, Captain Marvel, I mean, this is a whole nother discussion, but Captain Marvel was really ruined from just like trying to change her like into a new character, because remember she was Miss Marvel,
I
and
know,
then
legal
like
reasons. Yeah.
right, and then they changed it to Captain Marvel because they were like, oh well, Captain Marvel's been dead for so long, why doesn't Carol just take on the mantle, right?
Yeah.
and and since then they sort of like been trying to make it different, maybe to adapt it for the MCU, but I
yeah,
don't know, Carol's been such a terrible character as of recently.
Remember,
It's
It
kind of
feels like
sad.
she's been
I like the
rebooted
Miss
and
Marvel
retooled so many
one
times.
better.
remember Captain Marvel was also
Yeah.
Shazam. Like Shazam was Captain
Yeah,
Marvel.
like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember in like I think it's the early like that like I think Marvel won the battle of taking the name Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
and DC
Yeah.
had to use the name Shazam.
Well,
Like
the thing is, Shazam or Captain Marvel wasn't even owned by DC, right?
no,
Initially.
Oh no.
So so that's one of, I
there was
think
a
that was
long
one of the reasons, is like after a certain time, I think Captain Marvel disappeared, like Shazam, and then the Captain Marvel, as in Marvel, came along, and he was a popular character, right? And until eventually they did the death of Captain Marvel.
yes. Yes. It was a whole battle, man. It was a whole battle with
Yeah, the
DC and
Korean.
the
Oh,
yeah.
but the
But DC
legally, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
And
if they do was I think I was saying like the hologram with Tony Stark, do you think like that Tony created like a holographic of himself like before he died in Endgame, or do you think they'll do like a creative different way?
I think it will be an AI because they already established that like he probably downloaded his consciousness somewhere, like
Yeah.
for prevers I can't even speak. Some would say the word for me, preservation. There we
All
go.
preservation.
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Because he had Ultron, he had Jarvis, and then he had the Ultron's wife. I forget her name.
Yeah.
Then he had Friday, right? So I wouldn't doubt that he, has an AI version of
Iron
himself.
maybe like maybe for the Iron Man, not what's the show? Iron Woman, not Iron Woman,
Because
Ironheart.
I know
Ironheart. Yeah, maybe for Ironheart they'll use something like
Yeah.
because I
maybe one
know
of the
in
voice messages or
Secret
something.
Wars, I think in Secret Wars he's part of the story, and like I could see him being
Secret
in
Wars
there.
you need Green Goblin.
Secret Wars is probably going to be like the 2015 Secret Wars,
I,
where it's like the multiverse
oh,
and like
Yeah,
Battle
that's what I'm
World and
thinking
all
too.
these characters. That's what I assume.
That would be
I,
cool. Like,
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be.
like
I would like to see that. I think that's where Marvel might be saving their more important cameos, like their more exciting
yeah,
Yeah.
appearances.
I don't mind the multiverse. I've always I liked original stories, but like the multiverse like idea, like it always interests me more. That's why like with Flash, I'm more interested in like the multiverse kind of stories with him in the comics than the original. It's like the original stories are fine. I just like how he's a character and you have him do these multiverse kind of stories. Like in like one of the comics, you have like regular Flash versus Future Flash, and Future Flash basically kills every rogues gallery that he ever captured and everything like that. He murders Reverse Flash, and like I just like those kind of stories. They always interest me.
I do have a concern with the multiverse, and I did an article for my friend site, the Movie Nerds, about is superhero fatigue real, and I brought up how like one of the new things superhero movies, both Marvel and DC, are leaning towards is the multiverse. And I asked the question, like, will we be relying on the multiverse too much in the next few years, where it might get stale? Will nostalgia run its course with the multiverse?
I don't
That
know where Marvel
that's
is.
interesting because I think, given how Marvel is kind of moving right now, I would assume that's what they're doing, right? Like they're trying to play
Yeah.
off that nostalgia. But I also think that recently there's been a lot of interesting ideas that you could do with the multiverse. Like you can have mishmash of different characters, right? Like one time I was saying, oh, it'd be cool if we had like Iron Hammer, which is this Thor and Iron Man hybrid, right? Like you can do stuff like that with the multiverse. But I'm not sure if Marvel really wants to do stuff like that.
It
They want
also
to have
depends.
Toby and
It,
Andrew and all that stuff.
it depends on what kind of story they're getting. Like both Marvel and DC, it depends on what kind of story they're gonna be doing with it. It's not like every like movie they're gonna be doing multiverse. They'll only
Yeah,
do
true.
big events.
I question the MCU's direction right now because from 2008 to 2019, that's when basically the MCU started, right? They clearly had the Infinity Saga. Now,
Mhm.
since that's over with, this is kind of a retooling phase. Phase 4 is kind of a retooling phase, right? There's the multiverse, but there's also time travel. There's also cosmic. Now they're going to be supernatural. I'm like, what's the number one? What are they going to focus on number one? I think they're not going to have something like Infinity Saga, like that many million years, like that did for Infinity Saga. I think it's going to be smaller than that. And Kevin Feige said he's going on the Remote Island without not a Remote Island, but he's going to Island plan the next 10 years of the MCU. So like,
I know he's gonna be interested introducing Kang the Conqueror and everything like that.
Yeah,
And
Kang's gonna be like, I think is gonna happen. And
Yeah,
Well,
like-
that's
Not really
another technically
Friday.
a multiverse character.
Kang is
Yeah.
February. Kang's coming out in February. Ant-Man and the Wasp has been moved to
Yeah.
February. Like,
Because even though it's not the multiverse, right? Kang is dealing with alternate timelines,
or
Right.
reality
Yeah.
timeline, same thing. Yeah, like,
so
Yeah.
it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
yeah, like he can travel. I think
That's-
different Earths and stuff like that, or
That's not my
alternate
pet peeve.
timelines.
That's one of my pet peeves by him, bro. People mistake multiverse for time travel.
Yeah,
It's not the
Like,
same
It's-
thing.
The thing is, it kind of stems from the same thing, right? Like you could probably say Back to the Future 2 is a multiverse movie
yeah.
because remember it's dealing with the alternate reality.
It is.
Well,
but
with the way Endgame has kind of like written the rules, it's like they basically created new timelines when they like took the stones for like a little bit.
yeah, it didn't really.
So I think
affect
that's what's
anything,
confusing
right?
people as well. Like
Yeah.
the fact that the new time travel rules basically say, okay, this is a new timeline.
Yeah, it didn't really affect anything, right? Because like in an Endgame, like if you watch like all the everything that deals with time travel, if you did something in the past, it affects the future. Endgame really didn't do that.
Yeah, although that timeline where they took like the stones during the Battle of New York, Winter Soldier is going to be very interesting, like in that timeline.
Also, the thing with Endgame though, the Endgame when that belief, right? I'm like, what happened? So how did that old man Steve Rogers come to the future? Did all this happen in his timeline? He went back into did he defeat Thanos of that timeline? Because there's obviously there was a 2014 Thanos, the 2018 Thanos. I'm pretty sure that there's no 2019 Thanos because they killed them off. But his timeline there had to be another a version of that Thanos. Like, well, how? So they finished.
It's like a branch. Like think of
Yeah, it
like
is.
timelines as like a branch of reality. So like if you make one specific change and go back in the past, so like say for example you go back to you save Abraham Lincoln and everything like that, and everything like changes, and when you go back to like your reality, the whole everything will be changed if you like change a specific thing. With multiverse, you're traveling through like Earths and everything like that,
different universe,
They-
multiverse.
different universes, and
Yeah.
and there's like people get confused because there's timelines, there's multiverse, and there's also parallel universes. So like you can be in one universe, like say you're on Earth 1, that's what you have all like you're in like the multiverse, everything. There could be another
Well, the thing
reality.
is, all of those things are connected,
Yeah.
right? Like an alternate reality is just a different timeline where
Yeah, different
something,
timelines.
right? And the thing is, I think people get confused because, especially with Marvel, they could show a timeline where Thor is Iron Man, right? So then you're like, well,
Yeah.
how does that work, right? But that is technically an alternate
Oh, look
timeline
at
or an
Chris
alternate
Hemsworth.
You
reality.
know
We're
what?
gonna
Be,
have Chris Hemsworth and Robert Downey Jr. doing the voice together.
You know
Right.
what? You know what would be like this would actually be interesting for like a what if episode as well, like a timeline where like the other half that got snapped did not get snapped, and the half that survived got snapped.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
think
not
they're
a bad
gonna do.
idea.
They're gonna definitely do that.
Like where like Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, you know, most of the Guardians of the Galaxy, they survived the
Mhm.
snap, and they got to find a way to bring everyone back. Like I
I
think that
think
would be a very interesting concept for
I
what
didn't
if,
notice in
for
the
like
Thor 11 trailer there was
I think the multiverse concept is fine, but like I feel like it's also like the concept and the stories are fine. It's just if you try to explain it to a non-comic book person, it's gonna be a little hard for them to understand it.
I
Like
hope so. They better be. They better be in
for-
sci-fi then. They better know
like
sci-fi.
for me, like I know a lot about the DC multiverse and everything like that because I know the lore for how many years I've been reading comics. Like if I go up to someone that is just that has no knowledge of the comic books or anything, their brain's going to hurt if I explain all this.
Well,
I think
the
even
multiverse idea is also like stems from string theory.
Yeah.
So like it is a like, I mean, it's just a theory, but it could be real that there's
Yeah, it could,
multiple.
but I'm just saying like the concept like is not confusing, but also it's not confusing, but like if it's not, it's somewhat confusing for people
Yeah.
that don't
It's a
actually.
new idea. That's why
It's
it's more
like
new.
an idea.
Yeah.
I think for
It-
people who are kind of familiar, like let's take a look at like No Way Home and like Doctor Strange. So like for people who are familiar with who previously saw like Toby and Andrew's movies, who okay, we kind of already know Professor X is going to be in Doctor Strange 2 without
Yeah.
knowing about today's
Mhm.
spoilers. Like who saw like a few movies with Patrick Stewart as Professor X, someone like my mom, like I think it's easier for her to understand when she's like, okay, I've seen these characters before. I know they're from different universes. But then, like, let's just say, like, they have like a variant of somebody else that she's never seen before. That might be more confusing.
Yeah.
That's a good
It
point.
helps.
I
But
think
the
that's a really
nostalgia
good point.
factor does help when you see familiar faces like Patrick Stewart, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield.
I mean, not to get into leaks, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happens with Doctor Strange. People get confused.
Oh, like I already saw.
Or
the
Captain
movie.
Marvel, especially. Like, look. Okay, I'm not.
Well, not even Captain Marvel, the other one
Oh,
that we know.
Oh, the other one.
Yeah, the
Oh,
other one where
the
the
one that's-
character's not been introduced and it where the character is known, but
yeah.
the actors never played this character. So
Yeah,
I mean-
I know what you're talking about.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we all know Captain Marvel is in it. Can we say that Peggy? I think people know Peggy's in it
Yeah,
now.
we saw the shield.
Yeah.
We saw the shield.
Okay, so we know Peggy is in it for sure. Captain Carter.
It's floating all online
I
on
know
Twitter.
Rager's in it. There's three more that I don't want to say, but it's pretty much
3
Oh,
more.
I saw the
I think-
pictures. I know who you're talking about.
yeah, but I don't want to say it live. Like
Yeah, I won't.
I thought it was just 2 more
two more. Is it two more?
No. There's like
because Mordo is.
Well, but we
The
know
other-
Mortal's in it, right? We
One,
knew Mortals for the whole time. Like
one.
Mortal
And
doesn't,
plus,
to me,
like,
Mortal
Mort-
doesn't matter.
I think
Yeah.
it's
Because it's
three.
only
Like,
6.
Yeah,
I think
Mortal's
it's
part
three.
of the team. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like I
That's-
think like remember when we see the trailers? Like there's I think 6 chairs. I think. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, the
There's
Illuminati has always had 6 members.
To me,
So-
this
so-
is not the same Mortal from the first movie. It's a very
No, it's
Yeah.
a different.
which is
different.
stupid in my opinion.
Well, I mean, this one is a multiverse.
I
yeah,
think it's,
Remember,
I think-
Mordo in the MCU is a villain,
yeah.
so it wouldn't make
Yeah.
sense if he was on the Illuminati. The Illuminati is supposed to be in the comics, they're the protectors of the Infinity Gems, but obviously in this
they
movie,
can't do that. No.
Obviously, they're not going to do that. I mean, they
Yeah, they
could,
can.
but because remember what my theory was
And
that they
maybe their
were.
universe. In their universe, it could be.
My theory was that they were the evolution of the multiverse, the Guardians of the Multiverse, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
That actually sounds
Maybe
pretty
they-
cool.
Maybe in their universe, they do perfect Infinity Stones in their universe. Maybe they do have a Thanos and Infinity
Yeah.
Stones in their
Yo,
universe.
what if Wanda's trying? What if they have like their own their own universes, Infinity Stones, and Wanda's trying to take them to bring Vision back?
oh
Well,
wow,
Wanda, the thing with Wanda, there's I'm gonna tell you this. I think you all know there are variants of Wanda in this film.
Oh yeah, we've
Yeah.
seen like a couple
There's
already.
there's the main Wanda who is the villain, and I know what happens. I know what happens in the film. There is another cameo that at the end of the film I will not announce, but I did say a couple months ago who's I think
yeah.
who's in it. You're gonna be familiar with that. It's been who's in it, and but it's not part of Illuminati, but a prominent cameo. Huge.
I'm surprised. I mean, they're doing that character, but they're not doing Brother Voodoo.
No.
I guess maybe he'll come down the line because I like that character. He's pretty cool.
And yes, and the rumor was like today, like the rumor was about the cameos. The rumor was like Scott Derrickson, whatever his name is, Derrickson, right, with the D.
Yeah, Derrickson.
He did not want this. His version for the sequel was nothing like this. This was not this film that's being made that's coming out. That was not even close to what he was planning. He was planning something totally different, and not Wanda was never gonna be a villain. It was never gonna be a multiverse. The villain was supposed to be Nightmare. He wanted Nightmare.
I think Wanda's a little bit more inspired, like an inspired choice, because like she's not. I mean, she's a villain in the comics, but like I don't think a lot of people would have seen that in the MCU. You know what I mean? Like that. Like she's been established as a hero, and we haven't really seen the X-Men, so I would have never assumed that they would have made her evil.
I hope
Do you
people
think,
see Vision to understand.
The Vision.
Mm.
Like,
Do you think? I think in Multiverse of Madness that like in the movie they will do like, I think like because at the end of the movie we're gonna probably see like some characters probably go in the MCU or something like that, or new characters pop up in the MCU. Do you think we will see at least one X-Men character and one Fantastic Four character at the end of the movie?
I don't think so. I think there's only one character who. I mean, I don't want to say the team, obviously, but the one character that will live on.
I think there's two X-Men characters, but the second X-Men character will either be the end or after credit scene.
I like
I don't think so.
After credit scene or the end. Like I'm just saying, like at the end of the movie, like it could be after credit scene or something.
I heard John Krasinski is not really the Mr. Fantastic going forward.
I've heard that too, but it just doesn't make any
know.
sense.
It doesn't make any sense either.
Yo,
It would
like,
be- I mean, that's a spoiler. But...
Yeah, it's okay. Well, we have spoilers in here. So, hey guys,
you feel like John
Yes.
Campea is like banking on like John Krasinski to like direct Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
I'm
think
just gonna make this rule now. I'm just gonna make this rule now. I don't care if you're all listening. I know this has Moon Knight spoilers, but the spoilers is gonna be for anything now. And I'm sorry.
yeah.
Black Bolt's in
You
it,
got to
too.
change it though, just in case.
I know,
Black
Someone might walk in.
Black Bolt's also in it, and played by Anson Mount.
Yeah, that was, I think, probably the more surprising one.
So I know you have John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. Then you have
Black Bolt.
I do
Black
not like his
Bolt.
costume. His
Who's
costume's
the
so
other
generic.
character? I seen like
Oh,
you
That's
have
it.
The 6 is Black Bolt, Mr. Fantastic, Professor X, Captain Carter, Captain Marvel, and Mordo.
That's
like the
Yeah.
what, I saw like the leak like I was following our Twitter leak image and everything like that. It showed Black Bolt, it showed Mr. Fantastic, it showed Petty Carter, and there was one other person. I don't know the other person. She had like glowing.
Captain
glowing-
Marvel.
That's Marvel.
that was Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that's Maria Rambeau.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, no. Yeah, is it?
It's Maria. It's
Yeah,
the
it's
mother.
Maria. Yeah, the mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of Carol, she got the powers.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, there's no. From what I understand, there's like, I think it was My Time to Shine said that there was a cameo that was cut, but like I don't really believe it. Like they're trying to, and this is something I think Grace Randolph said too, that there was supposed to be Ironmonger in the
Iron
Yeah.
Man.
movie
That was
Who's-
as like an
supposedly
alternate
supposed to
Iron
be.
Man.
That's supposed to be Tom Cruise.
Supposedly, I don't, but then
And
it doesn't make sense though. That
Tom
like
Cruise is not in it. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't think
And
Tom Cruise
wasn't
is
the
in it.
next
if you
other
cut Tom
rumor?
Cruise out of the movie, that's like a waste of money. Like, why would they do that? Like, I
But
don't
if
think
you
it was
do-
Tom Cruise.
If they do Tom Cruise, wouldn't it be Superior Iron Man instead?
Well, no, I mean, Superior. I mean, if they did Superior Iron Man, it would be a little too confusing for people because, like, that's a thing I think people on Twitter, like, a bunch of people on Twitter always do this. They see something that's in the comics and then like, they Google search it and then they just are like, oh, that looks cool. Let's do that. But like, Superior Iron Man is like way too confusing for people. Like, it's basically, it's not even just evil Iron Man. It's way more complex than that. Like,
Oh
in other
yeah.
words, you would just have like a suit, right? That's like silver. And it's like,
Oh,
okay,
didn't they? I remember them doing Superior Iron Man. I think in one of the animated TV shows. If
You
I
could do the
I didn't
TV
even know they did it in a TV show. Because this is like, what, 2006? Was it 2016 or 2015?
no, I
It
think
was
it
with
was
the
like
Axis, that
what?
event.
What was that? I think it was was it Marvel's Avengers or something like that? Like it was like you had Mighty's Avengers TV show, then was the one
Yeah.
that took after that, and they went like I don't know how many seasons, but I remember seeing like a scene that was like online and like it looked like Superior Iron Man and stuff like that. I don't know, like
But
but like
the thing, it might have looked like Superior Iron Man, but like, this is the thing that this is what I don't understand about how people are saying it's, oh, they want Tom Cruise to play Superior Iron Man. Superior Iron Man was Ultron taking over Tony Stark, and Tony Stark was inverted, right? So he was like
He
slowly
basically be a villain.
becoming evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he
oh,
became like a
okay,
villain. So
Why
that's
would
what
they
I
do
don't
that?
understand, right? Like
They
people
did
are
it
like,
in What
oh,
If,
the Ultron
basically.
bots were
They
in
did it in
the,
What If.
Oh, it's like
yeah, kind of.
it's like he has like a synthetic kind of suit, like like
Kind of.
Ultron like is infused with
It's
Tony Stark,
possible. It's
Yeah.
possible. Trailer. Those
and
bots
he's
were created by
evil and
Mr.
everything like
Fantastic.
that.
I think the Ultron bots are just remnants. Like they're just like I said, if this like
Okay,
uh,
that would be too confusing actually.
it would
Yeah.
just it would make no sense if they're just like, hey, let's introduce Superior Iron Man and like, oh, Ultron is like merged with Iron Man. It's just like way too confusing, and people would be like, what the fuck? Like, why isn't this a movie?
I think I think with the cameos is we all know like in 2019 fighting now say, yeah, we're gonna bring the X-Men Fantastic Four. But I think this movie pretty much confirms, yep, they're 100% happening. And they just want to show in this movie Professor Xavier, Mr. Fantastic, and now, well, the Inhumans.
Yeah, the Inhumans one is more shocking because they got
Yeah.
the guy from the TV show.
Well, oh yeah, the actor, yeah.
Mhm.
Hopefully they do a better job.
The
Right?
show was
And you know
terrible.
what's funny too? Now that I remember, the suit looks exactly like there was a there. It's not concept art for the Inhumans movie, but it was like a proof of concept that they used in the comics instead.
Yeah.
You could just look it up. It's like it's supposed. It looks really cool, but it's like very identical to that Black Bolt costume. I'll probably have to like look for it and post it on Twitter.
Yeah, it's good because Inhumans was a big, huge letdown. It was.
Yeah.
Oh, that TV show
Wasn't that like the only like wasn't like they were also supposed to make a film about Inhumans,
It
but
was
it was like
supposed to
the
be a
only
bit.
film.
it was like the only MCU movie that ever got canceled.
Yeah, it became a show.
Yeah.
because of the show.
Well, supposedly it like it's weird because it technically didn't get canceled,
Oh,
right? But like it just got removed off the slate, and then
what was it? ABC
Jeff
show?
Loeb, yeah, and then it turned into, and then remember they put it in theaters too. They put the first two episodes in IMAX, and it was just like huge big deal, but like no one saw it.
I mean, Agent Shield did a better job with Inhumans.
Yeah, But I think the MCU is just gonna do like you can keep that guy who's because like he's a pretty like what he's in Star Trek, Discovery, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like
he's a good actor.
you can probably keep him. Maybe keep some other people and just give them a new look and just like reboot it. Just do a hard reset and forget about that crappy TV show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I feel like probably at the end of the movie, you'll probably have some actors that have like they'll probably have the similar look and just like say if you have Black Bolt, if they keep the same actor and keep this like similar look at Black Bolt and he just gets into the MCU, I think people will be fine with that.
Yeah.
I just hope people casuals. Well, I have to understand this character does not talk.
Yeah, he doesn't. and if he talks, he uses that like kind of thing.
Yeah,
it might be distracting too if you think about it because I don't think they're gonna have him if they do continue with this character. They can't have him with that mask on all the time if he doesn't talk.
No.
It's just gonna be way too freaking jarring.
I hope they do include the Inhumans, like have Medusa, like
You don't like the mask in the leak or anything like that?
Yeah, he's wearing a mask in the leaks.
Yeah.
I thought Baldur was supposed to be in it.
Yeah, that was a weird rumor that came up that just didn't happen. I don't understand why that rumor even existed if it's not in the movie.
I think Bruce Campbell still has a cameo in this. It's
a joke cameo. It's a joke cameo. It's I'm pretty sure people who like Pizza Time will like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Wait,
what if he's like playing like a pretend version of Mysterio? Like, wasn't he supposed to be Mysterio in Spider-Man 4?
No.
He was.
Oh, Spider-Man 4.
It's not that deep. I'll just say it's literally just a joke that is like if you just like that meme, the Pizza Time meme, it's literally gonna be
George. I don't know.
That in a nutshell.
I don't know. It's supposed to be Spider-Man 4. Apparently, it's supposed to be like Carnage, Lizard. Now,
like they
now Craven. I seen
that. I don't know who. Yeah.
In 2008, it was gonna be Lizard and Carnage. Then in 2009, the Vulture. Then like in 2014 or 16, they said, "Oh, Mysterio was gonna be like a cameo villain," and now like Raimi's saying, "Oh, we want to do Craven." Like,
I think it's because there was multiple scripts, and remember they never finished they finished a draft, but like they had multiple drafts.
3 was never supposed to have Venom. It was supposed to be Vulture for 3, I believe.
Yeah. Because there's concept art for that, or not concept art, storyboards.
No, I think like for 3.
Okay, George, take care.
Yeah, guys, I gotta bounce. I'm gonna have dinner soon. Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your.
Yeah, nice talking.
Thanks for having me on, Aaron.
You're welcome.
Take care, guys.
See ya.
I think what was it? 3 was Vulture, I think, or was that 4?
No, 4.
Yeah, 4. And with the leaks with that, do you think that this is gonna be the same situation with No Way Home, where you have a bunch of leaks like No Way Home, and it's gonna get out of hand?
This is someone. I'm not sure
like No Way Home 2.0.
They they also leaked the Avatar 2 trailer because it was supposed to come with Doctor Strange. So there's all these leaks now from this movie.
Yeah, and I saw the trailer for Avatar. It's not the best quality, obviously, because it's leaked. So it's not going to get the best quality, obviously.
I was still somewhat impressed. Like, it's obviously, I don't think it's going to be mind-blowing, but, like, you could definitely tell the difference. Like, even in that crappy quality, like, the hair and stuff.
Like, it looks impressive. The VFX look impressive. Like,
I don't know.
I just think it's, like, I do somewhat agree with people this is like, because he already had Aquaman and everything like that, this is basically Avatar underwater.
Well,
That's all it is.
Well, I mean, it's not even just Aquaman. People would say this is like Waterworld. Do you remember that?
Oh, movie? No, I don't want to remember that movie. No.
Never remember that.
But that's what I'm guessing. Like, guessing it's gonna be like, because James Cameron is like really obsessed with like underwater. I mean, like just look at his filmography, right? So
Yeah.
Titanic.
Titanic,
The
and
villain.
didn't
The
he do
villain.
Abyss?
Yeah,
Or am I
Abyss.
tripping? Yeah,
The
Abyss.
villain.
Yeah,
The villain in the Terminator 2 is basically liquid.
yeah. Like
Like,
he really, I don't know. There's something fascinating to him about the underwater
water.
and stuff.
The
Fascinated
way of
about
the
water.
water.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like
Like,
the water itself in Avatar should be a character, basically.
because it is hard. It is hard to film underwater. There's no doubt about that. Like in Aqua, like actually, no. I think some scenes in Aquaman were filmed underwater, but
yeah.
sometimes they just have them on a rig and like make them pretend to float. You know, like you're floating in the
Now
water.
there was a specific scene. I think it was Jason Momoa. He had to hold his breath for at least, I think, hour.
An
Oh
hour?
Jesus!
I don't know if you could
I
survive
don't
that.
think. Yeah, I don't think
Not
so.
hour. I think it's like I don't know how many minutes, but like it was. It was. He said it was very tough holding his breath underwater.
I would imagine so. I mean, like,
I think sometimes they have the mask. You know, like a snorkel mask.
No, he didn't have no snorkel mask. It was
really?
just like he had to hold his breath underwater.
I mean, he did the
Oh jeez.
Baywatch. You should be used to it.
But I'll say this about
That's-
Avatar. Like I'm not like a fan of it. Like the stories are okay. Like, but like
I agree. Yeah.
to me, I think most of why people overhype Avatar is just the VFX. Like I'll give James Cameron credit. Like the VFX are amazing. I'm not saying the VFX aren't amazing.
I mean,
It's just the story. Like it's gonna be like similar probably to the first one. I just don't see anything he's gonna bring mind blowing, the best story ever. Better
I mean,
than the
it's
first one.
still technically. I mean, even though it's a sequel, this is not like there's any source material based off it. So I like that. That's why I'm not gonna like judge it so quickly. Like, I think only recently people had this like edgy, like, oh, the Avatar movie sucked and all that stuff like that. And it's like it's whatever. Like I saw the movie like a lot as a kid, but like it's not like my favorite movie. I don't think anybody walks in that movie expecting like some deep storytelling. Like that's not really James Cameron's thing. Like his
Yeah.
thing has always been special effects, right? Like
I think Titanic is probably his best in terms of storytelling.
Yeah, like the movie. I think
Yeah.
the movies gonna be fine, and like there's also ridiculousness that like people are putting um, was it Shazam and Aquaman together? Like the director is cool with James Cameron. That's why he moved his movie to have more room for James Cameron to have his movie. He even tweeted it out.
I
It's
didn't
like-
see that tweet from Dave. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just a studio play. They usually, I'm not, if you guys like pay attention to like release dates and like how the box office works, like in December, there's so many movies that come out, and sometimes they all do decent because at that time, right, like it's gonna play all the way until January. So like
Yeah.
Shazam will probably, it's not gonna
fine.
do Avatar numbers, but it'll probably just do, yeah, it'll probably do fine.
It's the thing
Like
is-
just like the first movie.
I just don't like this kind of idea where they try to push like, oh, you have Avatar, it's gonna demolish, and Avatar's Shazam's gonna get 0 minus.
Avatar-
Like, really?
No.
Avatar's going to do good. But when Avatar came out in 2009, I said it stayed in theaters for a long time. But Avatar did not have a strong competition like the MCU. Now
Yeah.
they have the MCU. And now the next movie, it's going to be out in December. But the next big MCU movie is going to be after December. It's going to be Quantumania. And I know there's going to be hype for that because it's going to involve time travel.
I don't know if
Okay.
there's going to be a lot of hype for that, to be honest, because the Ant-Man movies usually do. They're always underperformers
I'm
for
just
Marvel.
saying. I'm just saying they have competition now. Avatar. Because
Yeah, I think Avatar probably won't have to worry about Ant-Man because that's like in
Yeah.
February. No, if it was in July, or sorry, if it was in January, yeah, I would agree.
Well, isn't there a DC movie in February?
No, I
let me
don't
check.
think so.
Let me check. 2023, you said?
Or no, Flash is moved to like June or May, right?
Yeah, there's no. It's Aquaman's in March, not February.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about that.
No, there
Yeah.
is one. There is one DC movie that I think is coming in February.
No, it's just Aquaman's March.
Here's the thing. The one movie that could possibly battle Avatar for the box office might be Black Panther Wakanda forever because even though there's no Chadwick Boseman, but the mysterious like the mystique who's gonna be the next Panther and how this is gonna and his death. I know it sounds like a bad thing, but his death is gonna make people go see that movie.
Okay, never mind.
I don't think I still think Avatar 2 will be like doesn't have to worry about any of these movies. It's literally in the most perfect date. There's no Star Wars, right? Because it's Disney. There's no any other. It's not like there's another MCU movie. There's no big movies. Avatar 2 is the big movie
Black
that's
Panther's
coming out in December. Yeah, that's November.
I'm still concerned
and
about
that might. And to be honest, I would not be surprised if Black Panther gets delayed. Like it doesn't really. I don't understand why it's in November, and it seems like they're rushing this film. That's what to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just get the impression like Chadwick Boseman this year will have passed away 2 years ago, and the movie's already coming out. Like I feel like you should probably delay it to February. You know what I mean? Like that was where the original came out.
Well, the thing is with that plan, but remember, Marvel's in Ant-Man 3, they switched, right? Ant-Man 3
they
February.
did.
Marvel's is what? What was June? July? May? Whatever.
July. Yeah.
July. If they move Black Panther Wakanda, they may have to move that to after the Marvels or in between Ant-Man and in the Marvels. Because this is the one this is like the one MCU movie that has a lot of production filming issues, right?
Yeah.
and I'm not talking about VFX.
Yeah, the VFX. I mean, like, I feel like the Ant-Man, because like I said, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Ant-Man's going to be big because it has Kang and all this stuff like that. But the Ant-Man movies were cheaper to make than most Marvel movies, and they usually don't have that much special effects in them, right? So it's like,
this one have the most.
I could see, I don't know, but I could see, because remember, Black Panther 2 is supposed to have Namor. So I don't know if that's going to be like a big, obviously they're the water under scenes and stuff like that. I'm not sure if the movie's going to have stuff like that, but it just doesn't make sense to me why they're rushing this movie. You can easily maybe shift back the slate, maybe keep Guardians in May and put Black Panther and then maybe move.
Thank you.
Yeah, go back because like next year there's only like 3 Marvel movies, unless Blade comes out. I really don't think Blade's gonna come out next year.
If Blade comes out, it'll be either late 2023, but most likely 24.
Yeah,
like you can delay you could delay Ant-Man. I don't think Ant-Man is gonna be that significant. Like Kang is gonna show up elsewhere, right?
Isn't he the villain?
Yeah, he's the villain, but I really don't think he's gonna be like. They're not gonna pull out all their guns for him, especially if he's supposed to appear in Loki season 2. Why would they basically blow their load on Ant-Man? It doesn't make sense to me. Ant-Man, like I said, Ant-Man's the least performing Marvel movie. It's I know a lot of people like it. I personally don't really like any of the Ant-Man movies, but I just don't really see why they would why is Kang gonna be his only appearance is gonna be an Ant-Man? Like you're gonna do everything with Kang and Ant-Man? Like he's not even an Ant-Man villain. Like I just don't understand why. You know what I mean? So that's my rationale, at least.
Well, Kang is they're not, like they probably just want the Kang's gonna be in it. They could probably just defeat a version of Kang. There's gonna be like that's all.
It's not like the powerful version of Kang.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a timeline of Kang, a variant of Kang, basically. It's not gonna like the one we saw in Loki. That's not even that's still a variant of Kang.
Yeah, it's not like the Kang.
Yeah, and I think 2023. If it's gonna be Black Panther, if that moves, we'll probably have Marvel's Ant-Man, and maybe Guardians. In 2024, we'll probably have Blade. And I know for a fact, this is a fact, guys. Fantastic Four is happening in 2024.
I could see. I think Deadpool is more likely to happen in 2024.
But the question is Deadpool going to be part of the MCU, or is it going to be like?
I think
Yep.
Deadpool is part of the MCU. Yeah.
Yeah,
but, but you don't think they tone it down?
No,
No.
I think it will. I think it will be. It's not going to be like the other two movies, but it's going to be in the MCU. Like, there's no. It would be. They would be leaving money on the table if it was not
Here's
marketed as an MCU movie.
Here's a case. If that's the case, if it's part of MCU, have it be a different universe and just use the X-Men from that universe.
I mean, the thing is, Deadpool doesn't. Deadpool is such a goofy character that, like, I feel like it's okay if he's in the MCU. Like,
Yeah,
it's okay
like-
if he's, because then people will just see him as, oh, he's just crazy, right? Like that's your write off. Yeah, like, oh, he's saying all this shit about, oh, Chris Evans is fucking Captain America and all this shit. Everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, you could just move on and just ignore it, right? Because it's Deadpool. Like, even in the comics, like when like he's like talks with the world,
What's up,
the
Tim?
word bubbles in the comics, and people just go, oh yeah, he's just crazy, he's just seeing things, right? So, you know, that's my kind of like what I would do with Deadpool is just ignore the fourth wall breaking, let him do it, and just, you know, chalk it up to him being crazy.
I do think because I heard this on
Yeah, it was Tim.
heard Fantastic Four will begin filming in 2023 and supposedly come out 20. They'll probably find a director or something like that.
D2.
Yeah, they need a director.
D2. I'm bold prediction. D2. They're gonna announce the cast.
Yeah, at D23 they're gonna probably
23,
announce.
whatever. D2.
Yeah.
What's Ready Ducks?
People,
And
It's
it's not
okay,
gonna be
it's okay.
Emily Blunt, guys. No, Emily Blunt's not gonna be Sue Storm. Marcus, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but it's not gonna be Emily Blunt.
I think they're gonna probably, because what, 2024 we don't know anything, right?
Well, they do need a
at
director.
least you'll have what was the guy that's playing Mr. Fantastic in
John Krasinski.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least you have John
Mr. Emily Blunt. What's that called now?
I know we were. Yeah, I go. Sorry.
Like at least you have John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. Like if he continues like as that character, like that's only if. But I can see him like, because he talks about like he would be up to anything with Kevin Feige, like.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't, because that's what I was going to touch on. That's the thing I don't understand about this leak is like, okay, if you're going to cast John Krasinski, who's a new actor playing a character that people know, right? Why would you now recast him again? Like, to me, that's very confusing, because it's just like, this is a new actor playing this character, right? So it's like, why not just stick with it and call it a variant, right?
Yeah,
so I really do think he is Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah,
that's
but
our casting. Yeah,
but no Emily Blunt. No Emily.
The thing is, Anson Mount's Black Bolt he's more likely a one-off than
Krasinski. Yeah, Krasinski.
I still feel like no, like these two characters can't be one-offs. It would just be way too confusing. Like, just imagine like you know Mr. Fantastic, but you don't know. John Krasinski is going to play him, right? And it's like a different variant, right? And you just see that. You're like, oh, John Krasinski is now Mr. Fantastic, right? Or like, oh, this guy is Black Bolt, whatever Black Bolt is, right? Like, and then for them to be like, oh, yeah, we're doing Inhumans, but like, here's a new Black Bolt. People would be like, what the fuck?
Like, I think those two will stay. I think those two will stay. You have him. I just think like this. I would say this is the only fan cast that could be correct. I don't want to be that person that thinks every fan cast is. I just
don't get the idea. Why does everybody want Emily Blunt to be Sue Storm just because she's the wife? Like,
well, it's also because of Quiet Place too. Because they were.
And I guess because she looks like Sue Storm, I guess.
There's a lot of women that look like Sue, like Emily Blunt.
I know.
Emily Blunt, from her interview on Jungle Goose, I don't think she's any interest in playing a superhero.
No.
She's not against it. She's not against it. She just doesn't have interest in it. Like, she's not bashing it. She's not like saying anything bad about it. She just has no interest.
But what about John Krasinski directing Fantastic Four? Because that would be a pretty big deal if he did direct it. Because like, there's no one's ever directed and starred in an MCU movie, right? Like I'm talking about like main character, right? We know what's his name? John Favreau obviously starred and directed Iron Man. But like this is like the main character. Like he's going to be in and probably every scene in the movie.
Yeah,
So it's like how would you do that?
I wouldn't mind that. Like, I'll be fine with that.
But I'm saying like that might not be physically possible.
Why?
Like I know everybody was like, oh yeah, you know, with Ben Affleck, oh Ben Affleck is going to direct and act. I'm like, I really don't think that's even possible. You can't like be the director of this giant, you know, $100 million movie and then also star in it as well. Like you're the main character.
You're like in the director's chair filming and everything like that. Then you have to go on set and do your part. It's like
it's a little easier when it's a smaller movie because there's not a lot of all these working pieces.
People want like I see people suggest Peyton Reed. I think Peyton did Ant-Man.
Peyton Reed I would literally be so disappointed if Peyton Reed directed it.
He did Ant-Man, right?
Yeah, he did all the Ant-Man movies.
Okay.
So whoever directs it, I'm fine with. Like,
I would do this. I would do this. If she's not Sue Storm, get Bryce Dallas Howard. Give her a shot.
The only
Give
thing
her a shot.
The only thing I want is
I'm just saying she has some of the best episodes on the Star Wars Disney Plus shows.
I could see that, or the guy. I still think if they were gonna get a director, like the guy who did Upgrade would be pretty good. I think he would do a good job with Fantastic Four because that's a sci-fi action. There's a little bit of comedy in there. There's some darker moments. I feel like that represents Fantastic Four pretty well, especially the Jonathan. What's his name?
Yeah, that's what
anyway,
I think
you
about
get the
MCU.
point.
They don't go. That's what I think about Marvel and Kevin Feige. They don't go for the big name directors, you know?
No, yeah. Bryce Dallas Howard would be an inspired choice too, because she's not. I mean, she's obviously, you know, her dad and stuff, but she's shown that she's capable, and also too, I think she probably have a good grasp of like the family dynamic.
Yeah.
How do you think they're gonna use Mr. Fantastic's abilities in like I know that like how different do you think they're gonna like do with his abilities either in Multiverse of Madness or Fantastic Four?
I think it's just gonna be pretty standard.
Not standard.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We're just gonna see him stretch out, whatever. Because he's gonna be someone that knows how he's gonna be ready, Mr. Fantastic, with his powers.
I think they are going to change him a little bit, or will not change him, but like I think a lot of people's perception of Reed Richard is that he is the guy with stretchy powers. You know, like people who don't read the comics, right? Yeah. But in the comics, he's more of, you know, he's like one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe, right? So it's like you would have to kind of show that, maybe lean into that more. Like he's like building all these different stuff and he uses his powers less in the movie. Like that's my impression, because I feel like the stretchy powers is still kind of goofy, and it just doesn't really make sense to me, where the character's personality and all of the stories he's in, I've never felt like his powers were indicative of the story. Like it doesn't drive the story. It's just sort of there. Like if that makes sense. It's like
he uses his stretch powers, but like he's more like he's that kind of scientist guy, like he's very smart and everything like that. And it's like he does use his stretch powers, but he also uses his intellect.
Yeah.
Like similar to like other characters in the MCU.
Why am I forgetting this writer's name? He's like Marvel's top tier. Like he wrote X-Men recently. Jonathan. Because his Fantastic Four run, I feel like Jonathan Hickman. There we go. Jonathan Hickman, I feel like his Fantastic Four run should be the Bible for the MCU. Like especially that first issue, like the first arc, where it's like the multiverse and there's all these different Reed Richards and they see Doctor Doom and stuff like that. Like that's the type of stories it should be. It should be very cosmic and very out there, kind of like, I mean, not jokey like Guardians of the Galaxy, but like visually like Guardians of the Galaxy.
I can't wait to the day Doctor Doom is in the MCU.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be
Oh.
sick.
Yeah, they can make him like a Loki type villain, you know,
Yeah,
like that,
definitely.
build him up like that.
I think they're gonna keep a lot of their villains now because that was one of the criticisms in the past, right?
Yeah, they always kill him off.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things. Loki and Thanos are like the only ones that have like I don't know sequels or in sequels and stuff
hmm
in other films. I mean, I guess you could say Baron Zemo technically.
Yeah, Baron Zemo. That's a good example.
This year's gonna be very interested for both Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like we're gonna get supposedly official announcement where today that Wonder Twins is canceled, and
I don't
I
believe
saw
it.
that. I don't. Yeah, and I seen that post on Twitter, and I was confused because I'm like, they just cast
Yeah,
the
like a
two
week
actors.
ago. Like a week ago. What?
you could like I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but like if you're good new guy in business, like a guy in like the new guy in charge, and you're looking at all these properties and seeing like what changes he's gonna make, he probably thinks that certain like even if it's like filming and everything like that, you can cancel it.
I just think it doesn't make any sense. I mean, if it does get announced, I would be like, I don't get it, right? Because I mean, we've seen this before. Like, even if they're in like, let's say pre-production, Wonder Twins. I'm not sure if Wonder Twins is literally a nothing burger. Like, no offense to the people making the movie, but it's literally they have no impact whatsoever. Like I even forget they're DC characters.
I
When I
know.
always saw them as like Hanna
What
Barbera characters or whatever. They're like,
It's not even in the DC like this
yeah.
movie.
So why even cancel
I
it?
only remember them
It's a
in the
new.
60s, 70s Justice League
Yeah,
cartoon show. Like that's it.
yeah. Like they. So it's like, in my opinion, why cancel it? It's content for HBO Max. It's got the DC brand on
It's
it.
probably
If
a
it's
cheap
like,
budget too.
yeah, and it's a cheap budget. Why cancel it before it? You already announced the movie. Like it just looks like, the people working on it will be like, what the fuck? Like I'm not. They'll be upset, right?
I'll be
Like,
pissed off. If I was
yeah,
if I was the Riverdale actor, I'll be pissed off. If I was the actress who's going to play the
I
toy,
don't.
I'll be pissed off.
I would be pissed too because that's like, sure, like it's on HBO Max, but it's a big.
What
Oh,
happened?
he just left. He'll come back. Don't worry.
But like I get what he's saying, but I also get what other people are saying. Like it goes 50-50.
What just happened there?
I press leave by accident. My thumb.
You're
But
pretty angry, so you actually left.
it's like guys don't like I get what he's saying. Like it's a nothing bird. It's like a nothing character that's like free for like going on HBO Max. Like I get that, but like I do get other people like if you think also if it's like a business point of view. Like I'm not thinking of this as a DC like because I took a business class and also like that. I have friends think of business point of view. How much money is this gonna make? And if it's like even
It's not a theatrical release though.
It's HBO Max movie, so
It's a
yeah.
HBO Max movie. So
What
that's
is
what
it-
I'm saying. There's more incentive to be like, well, fuck it, who cares? Like you can even be like, if it's successful, then like, okay, just fold them in. Like it's whatever. Like this is what I'm saying. Like the more and this is what I don't understand about people. David Zaslav is not going to come and be like, I'm going to cancel everything that's on the docket. That literally makes no sense because it's like then you have no content for a whole year, right? Like this movie could easily come out next year on HBO Max and get some little buzz and maybe it brings in a little bit of people. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't, but it's still content that's there. He's coming in to literally put content on, right? Like he's obviously going to do his own thing. Like you'll start to see his effect probably in the next 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So I don't like, even from a business standpoint, I would be like, why would you cancel this? Like even if it was just like, oh, it's in development and there's nobody, no director, no actor attached. Yeah, cancel it. Who cares? There's no but you're already in pre-production. You might as well just finish it. Just get rid of it.
Is there legal ramifications against this kind of stuff?
I don't know if there's any legal ramifications. Probably, right? there's probably contracts in place, right?
Yeah.
If you just, like I said, I'm looking right now. 2 weeks ago, the actors signed on, right? So they signed on. They already have a contract in place. You can't just cancel a movie unless they're going to pay them out, right? If
Yeah.
they're willing, that's them losing money, right? So it's like, would you rather just do this thing? Like I said, this is not like a Superman. This is not a Batman, a Wonder Woman. This is the Wonder Twins,
Yeah,
right?
like I don't know what's gonna happen, but if it's true that he's gonna cancel it, he'll probably like give people their money. Like the guy from Riverdale, I think he's
They're
I
probably
forgot
not
his
making a lot
Yeah.
anyway. But they probably didn't say
like just give their money and stuff. Like
figure
this is
maybe?
what I think he's doing. I don't think he's gonna cancel everything. Like you already have the Flash that's finished. You already have Blue Beetle that's finished.
He's not going to cancel anything.
But I do think he's gonna be doing somewhat.
I think
Whatever's in production right now, whatever's in pre-production right
Yeah.
now, is not getting canceled. Anything that they had plans to do, that's getting canceled. So if there was like, I don't know, a movie that was supposed to come out in 2024, and they were like, "Oh, we're still writing the script,"
that could be
they're
canceled.
gonna look at it and be like,
Yeah.
maybe we'll keep this, or we want changes, or we'll just throw it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I'm looking at the people reporting on this that they canceled, right? And it just doesn't make any sense. The hashtag show, I don't think they're even a reliable source.
No, I was
To be
looking at
honest.
a different. I was
From
looking at a
what
different
they-
one.
from what
But here on their article, they're saying the production is going to start in July 5th. Okay, if their production is starting July 5th,
how's it
that
canceled?
means there's people already hired. Okay, like you don't go, hey, we're going to hire in June. No, like there's people hired, there's people in place, and they're going to start on that time. Like that's not how Hollywood works. You don't just be like 3 months before production date, you cancel everything. When that happens, that's a disastrous thing, and people start getting antsy. Unions get, there's all this problem with the unions.
Apparently, it is really canceled.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing now.
On what website though? That's what I'm saying. When you go to the, I've typed in, you go here,
Okay.
and you see the hashtag show.
There's a different. There's
Yeah,
a
I know.
different one.
Hashtags are more important, but apparently from people that that we trust, like Casey Walsh, even Caden, because Caden.
What one take?
Wow.
One take news.
One
They're
Big
pretty-
News. Look,
I
One
mean,
Big
I'll
News
still wait
is
for the
biased.
trades,
One Big
but
News is biased though. They're biased.
I just think that's how do you cancel? I don't get that. That doesn't even make any sense. Like I said, like you have all these things in place, and you just decide I'm gonna just cancel it before. Like I just don't get it. You literally 2 weeks ago, like this is what I'm saying. I'll wait until the trades, until deadline says it. Then I will be like, okay, well they're saying it. Obviously, I trust them. Like they're the ones who, they're tied. Warner Brothers is going to give them the source, right?
They're legit people looking like apparently Casey Walsh, Caden, who Casey retweets. Apparently might, I don't know. Like I don't know. Some people saying it, some is.
I just can't believe that.
I'm looking. I'm hoping like somebody. I'm hoping a legit trade does come out.
Yeah.
Confirm it. That's what I'm looking
A
for.
legit trade has to come out and confirm it and say like all the reasons why, because it doesn't make any sense how you could cancel a movie that's about to start production and has actors cast, has all these things in place already.
I
don't
do
I don't
think
get it now.
I do think like even if it's canceled, those actors like yes they'll get their money, but he'll probably give them a different like casting role within DC. Like I don't know.
I mean, it's not really guaranteed, but
like it's
usually
not
when you have a contract for an actor, it's usually like if we don't, use you or whatever, we pay you out. Like there's no, oh, we'll get you another role. It's usually just for that production or that series or whatever it is, right?
This is what I think. Like I'm not saying the rest. This like Blue Beetle's fine. Like they already finished. Like they like Blue Beetle already finished filming. They're just doing like GFX and everything like that.
They're not even finished. They're not even halfway through production.
Yeah, halfway through. Like they're already like they already like started filming and everything like that. you have the Flash is finished. Work on VFX and everything like that and reshoots. Aquaman's finished, just VFX. And then Black Adam's like VFX, and Batgirl is wrapped and everything, just probably reshoots or whatever they do. Those movies are fine. I do see what he's. I don't want this to happen, but I do agree with some people that are saying this. Some TV shows are probably gonna get canceled. Like I like Titans, but I feel like that's gonna get canceled.
Well,
I feel like
the CW verse is pretty much dead.
what was it?
I
Gotham
mean, was
Knights?
this even in the like? What was this even? Like this movie's. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but this movie was like in development since like 2014.
Yeah,
Wonder Twins?
Yeah.
it wasn't in anything. Like it wasn't in the DCU. It wasn't like it was just its own thing in its own universe.
I mean, Wonder Twins should, like there's a bunch of other properties.
Like,
in DC
that's
should be
also the
great before
problem.
Wonder Twins.
I still don't understand why even bother canceling it.
I don't
Like,
know. There
This
has
is
to be a
absolutely
reason.
nothing.
Like to me, I never cared about it, so like it's nothing to me.
I hope like
But like also
hope it-
like
I
I
hope
do
it
see some.
Where
random-
is I don't see anybody else.
I don't know.
like-
I don't know. I hope it doesn't affect Black Canary because that's
Like
been known.
like Big Leaks is saying there's lots of differing information on the state of Wonder Twins. I'm asking around
That's what
to
I'm
see
saying,
what's
too.
going on. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they like
like
I-
even if this is true or not.
if they're saying that it's canceled, then I probably will believe them because they have a good track record.
Big
But I'm
screen,
still
yeah,
like
that's it.
would be extremely shocked. Like that means if they do it to this movie, they'll probably look through and just like cut out all these other movies that are on that. Which that does look bad though. That looks extremely bad that you would just come in and be like, yeah, we're the new guys, you're like almost there, but we're just gonna stomp you out. Like it's not like the CW, like the CW stuff has been running for so many years. Like
Yeah.
right, like this is a movie that's about to get off the ground, that's about to get filming, and it's probably cheap. Yeah, like someone saying, okay, one takes. Yeah, well, this is one takes. Never mind, they're not. They're just like reporting on someone else. The hashtag show.
One takes is big screen. Isn't he big screen leak still? One take.
Well, Big Screen Leaks is saying there's conflicting reports, and
No,
so
they-
he said
they-
he's gonna
they-
check.
They
But
did,
like, I have
um,
to see everybody else. Like, I didn't. Like, okay, hold on.
I think they're up. They give one take did one, but they did another one update. Like when they updates and everything like that. I think someone like
Yeah, well, Caden is saying that it's. I mean, he didn't say. He just posted a
it
GIF.
says we just talked to the star 3 days ago. She's
I know what you're talking about.
what was it? Psych for the movie, and this would be a major news to her. Yeah, that would be major news for everyone if this is
I
canceled.
feel bad for her if that's true. I mean, like,
I mean, there was a lot of people you see here that are like pissed. I don't see anybody that's like. Most people would probably be like, whatever. It's like I said, it's the Wonder Twins.
Yeah.
yeah. You know what? But for the people working on the film,
Yeah, and Casey, this is what Casey Will said. He under the hashtag show, he goes, doubt. I doubt it.
oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like until, like, he's.
Yeah, right.
I doubt it. I mean, doesn't mean like he knows it, but I'm just saying like I don't until someone says otherwise, and until I see like an actual trade line say this is getting canceled for X reasons, or like this is because WBD doesn't like the project, or
Oh,
you know.
Discovery, yeah.
Discussion.
Then I
film
can
has
understand.
nothing. Discussion film has nothing, and discussion film always sorts. or
Right,
cites
we just
sources,
have to
right?
wait and see. But like, other than Wonder
Well,
Twins, like I do see like major changes. Like I'm not saying like films or something like that, but certain TV shows and content are probably like the ones that are already finished are fine. Like those fine. Like
Blue
those
Beetle
are,
just started.
Blue Beetle, yeah, Blue Beetle just started.
yeah, like those are fine. I'm just saying, like TV shows or
Well, this
certain.
Discovery is when Discovery, if they announce them as canceled, it's going to be through a trade.
Yeah, like
Yeah, if it's canceled, like let WB
Yeah,
confirm it.
it's going to be
Yeah.
through some
Because
trade, like Variety or
because
Hollywood
this
trade.
is not, like I said, this is a different scenario because the movie literally 2 weeks ago was in getting started up to gear and production. That means they have to come out themselves and say this is canceled because right now it's been reported that this is a movie that exists that's going in production.
This budget probably doesn't have a large budget. Like, what the heck could be like the issue? What would it
yeah,
interest?
I
Like-
think, yeah, and if it's a one-off, like this is what I'm saying. Why cancel it? It's literally more content for HBO Max. It's the Wonder Twins are not that deeply connected to the DC anyway. Like what was this even in? Like when you go and look, nowhere. Like I don't see anywhere where it's talking about like look, I'm on the article on the Deadline article. I'm gonna go
Deadline has
DCU.
nothing.
yeah, like what has been said from the guy in charge. He wants like you have the Black Label universe with like something like Joker or Batman. Like they're like you can consider them Black Labels or Elseworld stories within their own universe and stuff like that. And you have this DCU. What the guy David like what he said is he wants um more connectivity within the DCEU, and he's evaluating all the films and content from DC right now.
Okay, so if he wants that, don't cancel Black Canary. Do a Satana. Do Justice League Dark. Do whatever you have to do with the Green Lantern stuff, but don't like
Cancel.
don't-
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. Like Wonder Twins wasn't even any
No,
I agree somewhat. It's content for HBO Max, but it wasn't connected to anything.
Is
Wasn't
it Wonder
connected.
Twins? I'm gonna-
It doesn't in the articles that I'm reading. Like it doesn't say anything about like. There's obviously the co-writer of Black Adam who's
Okay.
writing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not indicative of being in the DCU.
Yeah.
If this is
So
true,
I don't know.
If it's true, I feel bad for the cast and crew, but I'm gonna be blunt, and I think you all agree. Wonder Twins, of anything being adapted in a movie or TV show, they could be a CW. They could be involved in a CW show as like a side character or something.
Yeah.
But if they get their own
Well,
movie,
CW's done.
Yeah, CW's gone basically, except for Superman and Lois and maybe Stargirl. But
And
if they
even
get
that
their-
show wasn't even
yeah.
in the Arrowverse. Yeah.
So if they got Wonder Twins, if they got their own show, like they should never get their own show or movie. But on a totem pole of DC properties, they're not even in the middle.
Yeah.
They're at the
No.
lowest end. Lowest end, seriously. Like Plastic Man
Well,
should
they-
get their own show or movie over that.
Like I said, they're like Hanna-Barbarian characters. Like they don't have that much significance. That's why I'm like confused. Why cancel this movie? Like the thing is, if they're Hanna-Barbarian characters, you could even just remove, like you could maybe put the DC logo on it, but like you don't need to reference DC at all. Like you can just like this is an example, right? This is what I was thinking. Do you guys remember Hellstorm?
Oh yeah, I know Hellstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Marvel did the exact same thing with Hellstorm. They removed their logo from it. They removed everything from it. And there's, it's literally based on a Marvel character, right? Hellstorm. But there's no mention of any Marvel stuff on it, right? Like even in the show. So that's what I'm saying. Like if they really wanted to, they could have just kept this. If it is canceled, they could just keep it and just remove every DC mention off of it. Right, and then people are just going to forget because, like I said, the Wonder Twins are technically not they're not from DC Comics. They were introduced in a Hanna-Barbarian cartoon of the Super Friends. Like it's not like they don't have all these deep lore and all these deep comics and stuff. Like so.
No, that's for sure. And what other news is there we could talk about? This was fun. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than the Wonder Twins, he's got be restructuring, retooling everything.
Yeah, definitely.
TV shows. I do see I don't want this to happen. But like I see a lot of CW show like since I wouldn't be so like I know the Flash has a season
I
9,
I'm
but
gonna be honest with you. I like some of the plans I was doing, but I hate some of the stuff. I think Zalval is gonna make Warner Brothers worse.
what?
Say that again.
I think it's gonna make some of the stuff he's doing. It's gonna make the whole thing worse. Like he's gonna not get. Well, he's gonna cancel scripted shows, go reality. I know reality. People love reality, but like there's some things I don't like the direction he's going.
I think he's going to keep the reality. He's coming off of I mean, he's the Discovery has like TLC and all this stuff, right? So I don't think he's gonna.
But he says
You
he's
know.
canceling the scripted shows and stuff. Is that it?
I mean, they're going to cancel. They're going to basically like this is what he's going to do. He's going to look over. He's going to see what's overdue for canceling, or things that like you can be like, I don't really care, right? So this is what I'm saying. Like the Wonder Twins, I still don't see it like getting axed of this quickly. Like it's been announced and everything, but like things that are like irrelevant, like there's really no news, right? Like there's no like Batwoman and all this CW shows. Those really weren't, they weren't trending. They weren't doing anything.
Do you think we have to be concerned about Superman and Lois?
A little bit.
I think it'll probably run for another season, and then they'll just get rid of it.
Yeah,
Same thing with
But
like.
if they were smart, if in my idea, if Superman Lois is getting really praised, that should be the start of a new universe.
It's not like
It's not going to, but it should be.
I don't think it's on the level that they want.
I know.
And on top of that too, it's Superman, so they're like Superman's could be as successful as the Batman.
Yeah,
right? Like I think they will give it. Yeah, go. Sorry.
They probably want like, if it's true, like he'll probably bring some of the actors that like they would be screwed over and everything like that.
I know John Diggle was in it.
So like you'll probably have like you'll
Yeah.
probably have a new Superman movie eventually, and like because he talks about Superman, you'll probably have Henry Cavill back and everything like that.
I don't know if Henry Cavill's going to come back.
Like I don't know, like that's just my guess, but like they're rebranding with Superman because like you haven't had like in that article that he talks about Superman and all of the character, and
Superman
also I think he certain TV like I think CW overall is dead, and anything like Gotham Knights, as much as
Gotham Knights. That's a show.
I don't think that's
Well,
happening.
Gotham Knights started filming. They were filming in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think, like I said, you could easily just do like if you have this content, just like throw it up on there. I don't really see like I feel like you would waste more money by like in the middle of production canceling it, and then you're like, well, we just wasted all this money already. Like, why not just finish it?
It cannot be picked up.
No, just put it on HBO Max.
Or put it on HBO Max.
Yeah, just call it like some mini series, whatever. You don't even have to market it. Like,
well, people are gonna look at the quality of it on HBO Max, but what the hell was this?
Like they can bear. I don't know. Like it really depends. Like if they're like going like if they're thinking like the long term, I guess it makes sense to just nuke everything. But like if they really just are like whatever, who cares? Just finish all the shit and then move on. Like if it more content on HBO Max, even if it's whatever, like it's still more content for them, right? But like if you don't like if there's like you don't want to have like a period where there's nothing on HBO Max coming out that's like significant.
For the Peacemaker, have more DC shows and movies on. Well, that's what they're doing with Blue Beetle and
They'll probably fast track a lot of stuff.
Yeah, right. They'll fast track a bunch of stuff and everything like that and get them out of the way. Like I could see Superman was not getting canceled and just going on HBO Max.
The thing is,
I think it will go to HBO. This is my prediction. It will go to HBO Max and it'll get one more season and then it'll be done. Because isn't it like 4 Isn't it like? Isn't it almost like Is it on its third season or it's
It was
just on
the
its
second
second?
season.
Second
Yeah, you could do
season.
third. You could do a third and just end it.
But the thing is, Super Little
And,
Man.
and also
knows
they're
that they have-
selling CW too.
Well, yeah, I have to find a buyer.
Well, yeah, if they find it. Yeah, they'll probably. Yeah, they'll probably get rid of that. They'll probably get. They're gonna do the nuking, obviously, but like I think they're gonna have to obviously come up with an idea of what is gonna come in 2024. You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna be like,
After
oh,
season 2, baby.
are you gonna be like, let's immediately start working on the Batman 2 and get it out by 2024? I don't know. That would be like the Batman took quite a long time to make because of COVID, but I don't know. Like the stuff like that, we'll have to see.
Also, like probably wasn't just because COVID. It was probably because you had Ben Affleck attached. Then he.
No, I mean production. I was just talking about production.
Oh, I thought you were
Guys?
talking about the whole situation with the movie.
I
And
gotta
everything.
end.
No,
I
yeah,
gotta
the
end
whole
it, guys.
situation. Yeah,
I gotta
I agree
go.
with that.
I gotta end it here, guys.
Okay, it was nice talking though.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on. So, I'll let you plug yourself. Go Arkham.
You can find me at Arkham Gaming on YouTube, and you can find me at Arkham Gaming on Twitter. I'll probably start streaming the week after that. This week will be my finals, and I'll be done.
Good luck with that.
Go Blind. Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter, Blinded Braille. I'm just on Twitter for now.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, do that. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. You know, do all of the usual stuff. Follow these people, and yeah, take care, guys. AW Underwater is out.